So definitely avoid the Firefly if you want to have a relaxing, peaceful, stress-free time out in the campground or out in the wilderness.
That Liz Amazing video came up in my YouTube feed about 4 days before I was supposed to pick up this camper, which has Firefly right over there. And did I get paranoid? I sure did. And I started looking up on the web, trying to learn as much as I could about Firefly and whether it was going to be a problem. And one of the first things I encountered is that Leisure Travel Vans uses Firefly. They build probably the highest quality RV product in the world. I'm not seeing any complaints from Leisure Travel Van customers about the Firefly system. And then I discovered there's another company called Spyder, which does pretty much the same thing. And there are like 4 other companies beyond that that do the same thing. And these systems are taking over the RV industry. And they're taking over the RV industry for a good reason. RVs are becoming more complex. When I first started camping in an RV a long time ago, there weren't slide outs, there weren't levelers, there wasn't solar systems, there wasn't even the batteries we had were just junk compared to what we're working with today. And the lighting systems, just the lighting system alone, you know, the campers, they had 12-volt lighting system with these little bulbs that they burned really hot, and you were lucky if you had 2 light bulbs, you know, over your kitchen counter, and like it was dark in the RV, and the bulbs burnt out all the time. And if you really wanted to see what you were cooking or what you were doing, you needed a flashlight. I think the easiest way to explain what Firefly and systems like Firefly are is to talk about the old RV electrical system versus new RV electrical systems. And so this RV has 11 lights, where if it was 30 years ago, it would probably have 3 lights. So with 3 lights, it's no problem. We can put a switch over here and we could put a switch over there. But with 11 lights, where are we going to put all those switches? I mean, we're going to have to put like a panel up here of switches. But these lights, they not only do they turn on and off, but you can dim them. Check this out. I can turn that light like all the way down, and then it'll come all the way back up again. That means we need to put little dials on each of our switch, that it needs a dial to make it dimmable. And so now our control panel is even bigger. But then we need to talk about the solar system and the generator and maybe slide outs and the tanks. We need to be able to see how full the tanks are. And before you know it, we have this huge panel and we're looking more and more like an airplane cockpit. And I don't know about you, but I don't want my RV to look like an airplane. With all the complexities of the modern electrical system and wiring running all over the place, failure rates have gone up. Reliability has gone down. And so we need a system that has very simple wiring that can do all this stuff that we want it to do. These graphics are from the automotive industry. This is an old car's electrical system, and you can see there are wires going just all over the place. Now you're looking at a newer electrical system using something called CAN bus. CAN bus is a communication network, and it allows all the devices on that network, like your slide out and your tanks and all that other stuff, to communicate to a central processor on one group of wires. It greatly simplifies the way things communicate inside the RV. And it means that we don't have to have a million switches on the wall. We can have one panel that acts as all those switches. Implementing CAN bus makes an RV inherently more reliable. So how do I justify saying inherently more reliable? Well, for starters, during the design and build process, this communications network, it requires more rigor. It has to be designed, and the products that are purchased that are going to be used in the build have to be compatible with that network. So there's this layer of rigor that's at the very beginning during the design phase of the RV, and then during the build phase of the RV, that requires things to work with each other, that's not there when you're running wires everywhere in the RV. And that brings us to the second reason why it's more reliable. There's not a ton of wiring in this RV. It's amazing. These lights on the roof, there's just two little narrow wires that power them. It's a much simpler electrical system. Another reason is these electrical systems that are Firefly based are more transparent. In other words, you as the owner of your RV, you can go to Firefly's website. You can make an account, put in your RV model. They'll ask you for the GUI version of your software and the CLC version from your display panel. And then you can download these fantastic diagrams of your entire electrical system. This is very cool information. And I printed these so that I can put them in with my RV documentation. I also, I saved those PDF files to my Google Drive, so I'll have them on the road if I ever have a problem. I think it's unfortunate that Liz Amazing made that statement at the beginning of this video. I usually agree with what she's saying, but in this case, I have to disagree. I think the Firefly system has probably resulted in fewer problems for RV owners just because of the way everything communicates. Yes, some RV owners have had some problems with Firefly systems, and I don't want to discount their experience. However, in terms of the volume of errors, I think Firefly has reduced problems, not increased them. The other factor that makes that statement really unfortunate is that every RV is going to have one of these controller area network systems installed. It's just the way the future is going to work. And so if a new buyer is limiting themselves to RVs that don't have CAN systems in them, they're going to be buying really old RVs, which are much more likely to have things like roof leaks and other much bigger issues than Firefly will ever be. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I did a good job explaining what these controller area network systems are trying to accomplish. But if you have any questions or comments, or if there's something I missed, please leave it down in the comments below. You'll also find some links in the description that I've left for you, so that'll take you to Firefly and Spyder and some of the other controller area network companies that offer these systems. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.